All right, let's go to Houston. First stop today. Mike in Houston. Nice to have you on the show. How are you?
Just fine. Just fine. I don't think you should give the gold medal back.
You don't think so?
No. I think this whole judging is very subjective. When those judges saw him in his last event, and he was the last one to perform, they were going to give him whatever number he needed to get the gold medal, because his performance at the end was so much better than anyone else. It's a very subjective sport.
Well, it is. It is, and then in this case, I think, Mike, it's not. Now, to your point that he was going to go last, regardless of what sport it is, going last is always going to be an advantage. In terms of the subjectivity of the judges, I can't get inside their heads. I don't really know what it is. You know, another argument that I'm hearing, Mike, is, what about the missed holds? What about the missed holds? How come he wasn't penalized for that? That he did too many holds, I should say. That's a different discussion. That's a different discussion than the degree of difficulty was not calculated accurately. That's a different sort of discussion. This argument that, well, if Hom knew what he needed to get, it would have made it different. What, he's going to try harder? He's going to give you a different kind of effort because he knew what he was up against? He's in the Olympics, right? He's not going to give you everything he has in every single event. And by the way, he pretty much gave us everything he had. The guy performed beautifully, as I mentioned. Crashed into the scorer's table, came back from 12th overall. The guy balled his backside off. He gave you everything he had. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. The other guy was shorted on points. And I don't think that was subjective. Your point is, it's subjective. It's totally subjective. I don't think that was. There's nothing subjective about them miscalculating the degree of difficulty. They factored in a 9-9 when it should have been a 10-0. That's a math error, not a subjective error. You know, this argument that, what about Roy Jones? What about Roy Jones? Apples and oranges. It's not relevant. Too many holds, too many holds, too many holds. Well, the judges didn't deduct him for that. They didn't put him in for a 10-0. They put him in for a 9-9. As far as Roy Jones, you know, you can say that's bad officiating or that was bad judging. That's subjective. You can say he got screwed. And did. Subjective error. Hey, look. After all, this is your show and all. You're welcome to talk about this for 3 hours if you want. I've got some other things I want to cover, but I wanted to share my thoughts with you on that. Hey, but if you want to talk about this for all 3 hours, we can. That's my take on that. Unfortunate for all parties involved, but bottom line, end of the day, if it were me, I wouldn't want that gold medal that way. I would know deep down that I didn't earn it. I wouldn't think in my heart of hearts that I beat that guy straight up. I wouldn't want it that way. And believe me, I'm not here to say I hope we lose. And as frustrated as I am by the American Dream Team, I'm not rooting for them to lose. I'm never going to root for Americans to lose. I want us to win as many gold medals as possible. But step back and look at the situation. That's not a gold medal that I would want. You know, take the blinders off and look at the situation. I want us to win gold medals, but I don't want that gold medal, if that's the way it's going to come. But I'm still looking for Tiki Barber. Casey Kane next hour. Philadelphia Eagles safety Brian Dawkins also next hour. And more of your telephone calls. In Los Angeles, I am Dear Jim. Tell the gymnast to return the gold. It won't have any effect on his future whatsoever. Signed, the guy from Milli Vanilli who's not dead. Mike in Melbourne. Now, unlike Vanilli's performance, this was legitimate. He didn't go out and fake the performance. It was legit. You know, in terms of what we're talking about here, the argument I'm getting now, it's going about 50-50 in the argument. He should give up the gold. He didn't earn it. The 50% that are saying it's his gold, he did earn it, are now saying, yeah, well, the South Korean was entitled or was allowed to have 4 holds when he should have only had 3, and he should be deducted for that, so it's a wash. It's his gold medal. Hom himself said, we went back, we looked at the tape, we counted 4 holds, he's only allowed 3. Well, yeah, if you want to open up that can of worms, why don't we just go back and revisit the tape of every sport and everything ever and let the athletes decide for themselves? We don't really need judges anyway. Let's just let the athletes go back after the fact, break down the tape, and then decide. There's always going to be that human error involved as long as there are judges. And that you have to factor in. and they're not always going to get it right because they're human. That, to me, is not what happened here. This isn't a human error in judgment. It's a math error. It's like at the end of a fight, they totaled up the scorecards incorrectly. Somebody couldn't add. It's a math error. It's not an error in judgment. The fact that they missed one of those holds is an error in judgment. Human error in judgment. Subjective error. Didn't see it, or didn't count it. But he should have gone into the competition with a 10.0 to start. And he was given a 9.9. My God, I can't believe I've spent over an hour on this. But I have. Dear Jim, I don't think that there's any reason that Paul should give up that gold medal. Signed, Sammy Sosa's bat. You see, again, Hahn didn't cheat. He performed great. You're all reaching for that one-liner. It's not working either, clones. 1-800-636-8686 is your telephone number. Baseball note, Mark Mulder, perhaps better known as Mark Moda, may have the American League lead in wins with 16, but Johan Santana picked up number 14 last night, and he is making a late push to get his name on the Cy Young Trophy. Mulder does lead the league in wins. He's currently 8th in ERA. He's 12th in strikeouts, and he has 5 complete games. He is your front runner. And if you had to vote right now, you got to give it to him. But they're not voting right now, and Santana has been lights out for the better part of a month and a half. He started slowly, getting 3 no decisions, winning 1, and then 3 more no decisions, and getting 4 losses. But despite that fact, the guy's 14-6, and he hasn't lost since early July. 2nd in ERA, 1st in strikeouts, 4th in wins, and this guy is nasty. I mean, this guy is filthy. Left-handed filth. And his numbers might even be better than Moda's. If Minnesota had not gotten off so slowly, and he had gotten a little bit of help in the first month and a half, he'd be a lock for 20. He may not get the run of a Pedro or a Schilling, or in this case, a Moda. But this is a guy that nobody wants any piece of when the postseason starts. And considering the Twins basically wrapped up that division last week, he's going to get his chance to shut somebody down in the playoffs. And if he goes the way he's been going, he will. This guy's averaging better than a strikeout per inning as a starting pitcher. 207 Ks in 181 innings. I mean, he might not yet be in Randy Johnson's league, but this guy's better than 1 K per. 11 more last night, 7th straight win. If nothing else, he's made the Cy Young Award a legitimate horse race going into the final month of the year. In other words, don't forget about Johan Santana. Doesn't work quite as well, does it? Doesn't sound quite as good as don't forget about Mark Moda.
Don't forget Mark Moda.
Don't forget Johan Santana. Do it, Stu. I need Stu to do it. You can't forget Mark Moda, but Santana's not going to let anybody forget him. This guy is filthy. He is the real deal. Great, great young pitcher. The real deal. Nasty. Seems like every time I watch that guy, you look up, you say, oh, 1 on somebody. Don't forget Johan Santana. Let's go to New York City. Joe. In the city. Hey, Joe, what's up?
Greetings, Romy. I want to start by taking someone to task for something you said last week, and that's Bruno in Chicago. Dude, you must have issues. I mean, why the hell are you watching Sharon Joan Rivers to begin with? Football, Memo Duquesne and Ivory McCardle. Quit the charade and end your stupid holdout. You want me jerking with Johnny Boy if you're serious about the game. I mean, even me, Sean Johnson, thinks you're not right. And as far as Bill McGahee, well, I'd like to see him talk his way out of Buffalo. And sad to say, but the Olympics have turned into a quadrennial festival of talent driven by marketing and revenue. In other words, it's like Woodstock without all the mud and the vomit. Basically, and the only people that are really geeked for the Olympics this year are the parents of the gymnasts, the children of the dream team, and ultra-degenerate like the bet guy. And now I hear that in Greece, not enough people are showing up that they're giving away tickets. I mean, is this the gold medal finals to the last word? Come on now. Earth to Mike and pestilence. Do you honestly think that the Sox are going to get to the World Series this year? Let me remind you, last year the Yankees got no hit by H-Town and still made it to the big dance. So we just got swept by the 909 Halos. Big whoop. Try getting within, I don't know, half a game, Chad, then I might be concerned. I'm sure that shutout by Ted Lilly had to help. Yeah, that same Ted Lilly you clowned in the ALDS, that guy. But remember what I said earlier. Every time the Yankees have a 6-game lead in the AL East, they win it. Oh, you've seen this move before, eh, Chad? Y'all know this is going to end. Corey Kobayashi, have yourself another hot dog. What is that, 5 singers in the last 8 games now? He's one of the reasons the Moped Soda Twins are pulling the rug from under C-Town in the AL Central. Him and Justin Morneau. Morneau. Isn't that like the average conversation in the back of an ice cream truck? More? Woo! More? Woo! I'm out.
Yeah, Joe, you are. Hey, listen, let's talk about the Yankees-Red Sox for a minute. You said, so what if we got swept by the Halos? Big whoop. What is a big whoop? Look at your starting pitching. Yacked around again. You can't move Esteban Loaiza. They can't even trade that guy. Worst thing the Yankees could have done is let him start another game. If you're trying to move him, you know what the thinking was. Let's put the guy in there. Maybe he has one performance so we can move him. Problem is he had one more bad performance. Now they can't move him. Shouldn't have given him the ball again. It is a big deal. It might be too little too late in terms of the division, but as I mentioned in the open, where the Red Sox might not run the Yankees down, if they get in and they hook up with them in the postseason, if you ask me right now, I'm taking Boston over New York because of the Yankees starting pitching. I'm going to take my chances with Peter and Schill. Now, I would be real concerned if I'm a Yankee fan. Obviously, George Steinbrenner is. That's why he had another one of his Tampa roundtables. And those Tampa roundtables never go well if the guy's back in New York. 1-800-636-8686. Whenever George has a meeting in Tampa, somebody in New York is pretty much looking to get fired.